This screencast will cover teamwork skills, the second unit in your Prince's Trust portfolio. You will have just got back from your residential. Firstly, I hope you had fun. Now it's time to fill out this booklet. All of the experience you had on residential will help you fill this out in full. You will notice the tracking sheet has already been filled out for you, but please, as with planning for personal development, remember to put your learner name, centre name and the assessment dates, and don't forget to sign the bottom of that sheet. Your first activity involves you listing the advantages of working in a team. You should know lots and lots of these. For example, I might put down that an advantage of working in a team is that it takes less time. That's one. Now fill out the rest of the boxes. Your next activity asks you to give examples of problems that could occur when working in a team. Again, you should know lots of these from working on residential, so have a think back to any times that you struggled as a group and put them in that box. I'm looking for real life examples, so make sure you're really clear. Here, the boxes are asking you to put photos in. So a time when it was absolutely essential to work as a team. You worked as a team a lot on residential. A good example might be this image here of raft building. You can see here that the team are working very hard at putting a raft together. Do you think this would be possible to do this alone? Probably not. You might need somebody to hold up the poles, and you wouldn't be able to get it done in the time that's allocated. Therefore, it's essential to work as part of a team. You would pop that photo here, describe the task, and then why was it essential. You need 2 examples. You need to be in both images, and they both need to be different activities. Now you're moving on to different roles in a team. This should be fairly simple. You did lots of activities where you were all in one big group. I've got here the example of rock climbing. Here you can see these 3 students. They all have a different role to complete. It may look like they're all doing the same thing, but they're not. Here, Joe is belaying. Aidan is holding on to the safety rope, and Cameron is a spotter. He is letting the climber know where it is safe to climb. You would put here task, rock climbing, list your team members' names and what role they completed. You can use any activity from our residential. Good activities to use are things like rock climbing, crate stacking, raft building, and even co-steering. Make sure that you have different roles for each team member. Please do not just put down team member name and the role they completed as team member. Describing the need for different roles within a team. This should be really clear with the example I just gave you. Why was it good that there were all of these people watching the rock climber? Have a think, have a chat to your partner. Now we're moving on to making decisions in a team. You might find that there are lots of decision making on residential. You might have used lots and lots of different methods. One example could be a vote. However, there are different forms of voting. You could have done an anonymous vote, a majority vote. You might have even gone really mad and done the minority vote. Earlier in this booklet, we gave examples of problems that occurred within the team. Now I want you to say how we resolved conflicts. This can be really tricky because sometimes it just involves me, your team leader, stepping in. However, you might want to think of times that we did something a bit different. Really think back to residential and give clear examples. 3.1 asks you to identify objectives of working in a team. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do here is pick one activity from residential and assess it on the purpose and objectives. I'm going to do raft building, and I'm also going to spell it correctly. The purpose of working in a team is to get it done in the time limit and the objectives would be to build a raft. There is a clear difference between purpose and objectives. Discuss with your partner what you think that is. Pause this video if you need some time. The purpose of a team is to make sure that things get done. However, the objective is your final goal. Here I will ask you to go and meet with your team leader to record a conversation. The reason we do this is it alleviates you having to write lots and lots of information. So I'm going to just ask you to go to your team leader, record your 2-minute conversation and pop it in this bit of work. We're coming to the end of the book now. What I'm going to ask you to do now is get some more images for in your book. These are 2 activities of you completing a task within a group. I'm going to show you some inappropriate ones. So, this is a lovely picture of Alicia and Jodie. They are in a group, technically. It's on residential, and they are doing a team activity. They're rock climbing. However, they're not doing any of those things in this image. Therefore, it is not an appropriate image to use. I would not recommend you taking any group shots as evidence. A good one to use would be something like this. This is crate stacking. You can see here that everybody is working as a group. Jake is belaying, Macy is holding the rope, and the same on this side. This is a good group activity. So please do not use selfies, funny photos. Those can be saved for other activities. Again, as with everything you've done so far, you will have to say what you're doing. And finally, your team review. Give photographic examples of how the team worked well. Now, you might want to use something like this. This is a really good activity to use for this. This learner got to the top of the wall, which means the activity went well, because of the spotters and the belayer here. That's a good example. Again, you need 2, and don't use unsuccessful examples. Try to use ones that are good examples. And be clear on why this is good practice. Giving examples of skills you've developed while working in a team should be really easy. It might be that you've improved your confidence. It might be that you've improved your health and safety skills. It could be anything. Have a chat to your team leader if you're not sure. State ways to improve your own teamwork skills. Again, this should be fairly easy. You would have struggled with an activity on residential, whether you like it or not. So please state a way that you could have improved your team working skills. I might put here, I should have voiced my opinion more. Because that might have been something I struggled with. If I was in a group and I wasn't saying what I thought, I probably should have voiced it a little bit more. So that's a good team working skill. Have a think about what you were up to on your residential. With this booklet, please make sure you go back and check everything, and don't forget to fill out the diary entry for the residential week. I will have put a list up on the board of everything we got up to. I want your views and opinions. Remember to check your spelling, punctuation and grammar at all times. And again, hand it in to me at the front of the room. Remember, this is your coursework. It should be done carefully and in a timely manner. Don't rush it, make it neat, and put some pride into your work. If you need anything, give me a shout or the assistant. Thank you for listening. Good luck with your coursework.